The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy, position, or beliefs of Elisabeth Carson, The Unlimited Podcast, Enhanced Flow, LLC, or any affiliated entities. This content is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The information discussed may include personal opinions, interpretations of data, or alternative perspectives that have not been evaluated or approved by the FDA or other medical authorities. Listeners and viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult qualified healthcare professionals before making any health-related decisions or changes to medication, diet, or lifestyle. By viewing or listening to this episode, you acknowledge and agree that neither Elisabeth Carson, The Unlimited Podcast, Enhanced Flow LLC, nor any of their representatives are responsible or liable for any actions, effects, or outcomes resulting from the use of any information discussed herein. All content is provided as is, without warranty of any kind. Use your own discernment and take full responsibility for your personal choices and well-being.
Every cell in your body, your skin, your brain, your bone, your eyes, your tongue, your ears, your heart, your bladder, your red blood cells, white blood cells, your bone marrow, your kidneys, your liver. Did you know every cell, every single cell in the human body has nicotine receptors that activate the cell to normally function or function at its optimum when stimulated by nicotine?
What?
Yeah, you better. Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, what should have it? Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if you try it. You're the artist, and the mess, and happily be found the new in your hands.
Dr. Ardis is one of the world's most influential and respected voices in alternative medicine. In his best-selling book, Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies, Restoring Health and Hope for Humanity, Dr. Ardis exposes the U.S. government's hidden agendas and provides readers with natural remedies for over 200 COVID and long COVID symptoms. On his podcast, The Dr. Ardis Show, he shares his latest research and fearlessly advocates for those whose voices have been silenced by the medical establishment. His work serves as a clarion to call everyone, trust your body, seek the truth, and don't blindly trust Big Pharma. As co-founder of the Transformative Wellness Conference Healing for Ages, Dr. Ardis brings together researchers and top doctors in natural medicine who share new approaches to medical care that prioritize natural remedies over corporate profit. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unlimited with Elisabeth Carson. Today, oh my gosh, I have been anticipating this interview with the amazing Dr. Brian Ardis. Listen, the stuff that you put out and the information that you have out here is just freaking mind-blowing. We had an interview, I don't know, I think it was a while back now, but so much just mind-blowing information from that freaking interview. So I'm so excited to have you back again. Thank you for being here with me.
Well, I'm thrilled and honored to be here hanging out with you again. And I hope that the information that we were dropping, the truth bombs we were sharing, that I hope it reached many people's ears and I hope it resonated truth with them. That'll be exciting if we can do it again.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to dive right in, Dr. Ardis, because I've been looking at some of the new things that you're into, and you've been talking about nicotine lately, about how nicotine is one of the most misunderstood substances on the planet. So can you kind of go into what that means?
I would like to do that. All right. So we're going to talk about nicotine now. Before we even dive into that topic, I want to address the number one thing that just went through all of your brains out there. If you don't know my discussions or seen any clips of mine discussing and showing the incredible health benefits of nicotine. So I need to get something out of the way first. Everybody there, when you hear the word nicotine, you have been literally programmed to have another word associated with the word nicotine when it is spoken, read, heard.
Yes.
When I say nicotine, you have been intentionally programmed since 1994, August of 1994 to be specific. You have been brainwashed since August of 1994 that anytime you hear, read, or see the word nicotine, the next word they want you to think of is addictive. So all of you out there going, no, I don't want to talk about this addictive substance. No, I need to tell you something.
Yeah.
And if all of you are out there going, I don't even want to hear this conversation. If he's going to be talking about health benefits of nicotine, I don't want to hear it. I already know it's addictive. No, you don't. You don't know anything. In fact, I thought I knew nicotine was addictive before 4 years ago. Imagine my shock, which is actually been profoundly received by millions of people around the world. I literally am flown to medical conferences around the world to educate medical doctors on the health benefits of nicotine based on the last 4 years of research. Why did this come up? Number one, all of you out there thinking, I would never use nicotine. I don't want to touch it. You touch it every week. You actually swallow it every single week and you don't even know it. I didn't know it either. Did you know that nicotine is found in the tobacco plant? And did you know the tobacco plant is in a specific family of plants called the nightshade vegetable plant? Did you know that? Or
What?
group of plants?
What? Really?
Did you know that?
Tomatoes and plants?
Did you know that the second highest containing nicotine plant on earth is eggplants?
Eggplants. What?
And how many people do you know have eaten eggplants, including you watching or listening to this right now, and have ever woke up with night sweats and withdrawal symptoms from the addictive eggplant? Never. You've never, ever met a soul, anybody ever, who broke out with sweats, chills, shakes because they were going with withdrawals of missing eggplant for a day or two. No, you've never had that.
No.
But eggplants are the second highest containing nicotine plant on earth. Do you know what the third highest nicotine plant on earth is, which all of you eat every single week? I guarantee it. Did you know tomatoes and anything made from tomatoes are the third highest containing nicotine plant on earth?
Oh my God. Really?
So if you like fried green tomatoes, did you know green tomatoes have 10 times more nicotine than red tomatoes?
What? What?
And how many of you are addicted to green tomatoes? None of you. How many of you are addicted to BLTs? None of you. How many of you are addicted to ketchup? You might be, but nicotine in the red tomato ketchup is not higher in amount than the sugar or corn syrup, which is addictive and added to ketchup. So, and did you know the fourth highest containing nicotine plant on earth that all of you have eaten, I promise you, in the last week is white potatoes?
No.
So that means every potato chip from Frito-Lay you've ever eaten, loaded with nicotine.
What?
That means every French fry you've ever eaten, hash brown, tater tot, baked potato, loaded with nicotine. And you didn't know it. So please don't think to yourself, I will avoid nicotine the rest of my life. You don't do it already. You just weren't told that. So now that you are starting to understand that there's maybe some misunderstandings, misunderstood concepts around nicotine, this is why this is such a very hot topic around the world. Did you know the whole reason why I even started talking about nicotine during COVID in April of 2022, 3 years ago? I actually did a documentary called Watch the Water, all about COVID, and what I am looking at in research studies and DNA analysis are confirming is really causing COVID symptoms. In these research studies and in the documentary we produced called Watch the Water, it ends with a credit, and the credits read first, what are the antidotes to COVID? Number one on the list was nicotine. And the reason for that was, I showed in the documentary, did you know this, and did you know this at home, that smokers and those around the world that use tobacco products were the only people that never got COVID?
What?
In
Seriously?
fact, it is published all over the world, and it started being published in January of 2020. Why do smokers appear immune to COVID? And it was named a medical paradox. Why do people we believe are damaging their lungs, why do they appear to be immune to a respiratory virus called COVID? To this day, this is actually September 2025, actually October 1st, I think, 2025. As of this date of this recording, tobacco users, current and chronic, they were the least to get sick with a symptom of COVID. They were the least likely group of people to ever test positive for COVID. And they were the least to be hospitalized for COVID. And they were the least group of people of all groups you could even think of a demographic to collect. They were the least to die from COVID-19. Smokers and tobacco users. So the mystery of why tobacco users appear to be immune to this really deadly respiratory virus was actually confirmed in April of 2020. The answer to the question, why are smokers immune? It was discovered by medical researchers in Paris, France, and they published it in medical journals over 5 years ago, young lady.
What?
They published it in April of 2020 that if all governments around the world would give their citizens nicotine patches, nicotine gum, or mints, you could end the pandemic globally in 2 weeks or less.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I promise you. In fact, I show you all the articles in the research study in chapter 13 in my best-selling book, Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies.
Yeah.
It's a best-selling book and has been since August of last year. And chapter 13, titled Just in the Nicotine of Time, shows you all the research. And I need to highlight real quick for all of you out there who are now hearing for the first time, what do you mean nicotine's not addictive? Wait a minute. If you think it is, and I show you in the book, actually in chapter 13, I show you how much nicotine's in every vegetable you eat every day and every week. If you have never heard an employer or an employee or anybody that's a coworker of yours walk up to you as their boss or one of your managers, and unless you've heard this question asked of your manager or boss or employer, have you ever heard anybody ask your employer for a cauliflower break or a zucchini break or an eggplant break or a tomato break or a white potato break? No, never. But you've heard, I need a cigarette break. I need a smoking break. Yeah. If you've never heard anybody ask for a nightshade vegetable break because they're missing their addictive nicotine, that's because it's not addictive. And Harvard published, and I show you Harvard study. Now, maybe some of you out there think you're smarter than Harvard. Maybe. But Harvard read 7 million pages of the tobacco giants' research and development papers that were given to them by the FDA in 2015. They wanted to see, can we determine what truly makes tobacco products addictive? And Harvard published the study in 2016, 4 years before COVID. The title of the study is Pyrazines, not nicotine, is responsible for the addictive quality of tobacco products. And pyrazines, for all of you out there that don't know it, Pyrazines, there are 15 of these named addictive man-made chemicals that the FDA has allowed the tobacco giants to add to every cigarette, every tobacco snuff product to make them addictive. And it was in the documents from the FDA. And then Harvard wrote in 2016, the authors of the study said, we actually recommend the FDA start regulating pyrazine use in tobacco products rather than nicotine, because they know they're putting something in it to make it addictive and they're blaming it on nicotine. Now, the question for you would be this, that I posed to all of you. Why do you think the FDA in August of 1994, if the FDA already knew since 1970, like Harvard just published, that the FDA has known that nicotine is not responsible for the addictive quality of tobacco? The FDA has known since 1970 they're adding 15 different man-made chemicals called pyrazines to make their products addictive. And the FDA told them in 1970, it's okay that you do this. My question for you is this. Why did the FDA start lying to you in 1994, 24 years after knowing the tobacco industry was okay and approved to add those toxic addictive chemicals? Why in 1994 and ever since have they published to avoid tobacco products because it's addictive and has nicotine, an addictive substance?
Why?
Why do they blame it on nicotine?
Yeah. Why?
If you want to know the truth, did you know that tobacco, I have the medical textbooks to verify everything I'm about to say. Conventional orthodox medicine, as you see it right now with hospitals, specialists, medical doctor titles, it doesn't matter. Every specialist you've ever seen, inside that industry for 500 years, it is written that tobacco and the incredible healing nutrient in tobacco called nicotine is a known cure for 500 years now and published by the medical industry. It is a published cure for all of these conditions I'm about to name. Tobacco and nicotine in tobacco and nicotine in nightshade vegetables is published by mainstream medicine to be a known reversing agent, preventative agent, curative agent for Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, every single form of dementia, including mild cognitive impairment, which is that phrase they like to use, early onset dementia. No, that's cured with nicotine alone by itself.
What?
Proven in 6-month-long studies, 1-month-long studies, 2-year studies, you name it. And I show all of these research studies on my podcast show, The Dr. Ardis Show, so you know the truth. Did you know that nicotine in the tobacco plant has been known for 500 years to cure all people of all known cancers?
What?
And it's published. I can even show you the year it was published in medical journals. Since 1492, I can show you every date that it was published in medical journals, used by a medical doctor to cure somebody of every tumor, cancer diagnosis. And do you know what was the number one selling drug worldwide last year? It was by a drug company called Merck. And that drug is called Keytruda, Keytruda. Last year, that one drug made by Merck revenued $30.6 billion in 12 months for cancer treatment. Do you know? Now you're starting to realize why the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, was told to lie to everyone to not use tobacco products and blame it on a nutrient found in all your other vegetables you eat every week and should to stay healthy. They made you believe they had to demonize the plant called tobacco and convince you to avoid it in favor of you developing cancer one day and needing to get their chemo, radiation, and Keytruda drug from Merck. Do you know what the second selling drug worldwide last year was? By money. It's a drug called Ozempic. Ozempic sold $16.7 billion worth of Ozempic last year. And here's a few truth bombs for you. Did you see Ozempic yesterday had a lawsuit land on their headquarters desk for $2 billion in injury claims from their patients here in America?
Really?
Yeah. And did you know what Ozempic is? I've been educating people for 3 years now. Ozempic and Wegovy. They tell you it's a GLP-1 drug. It is not a GLP-1 drug. There's no GLP-1 nothing in there. There's no GLP-1. GLP-1 is a hormone found in humans.
Yeah.
It's not found in a syringe. It's not even in there. So whatever they're injecting inside of you, they're marketing to you as a GLP-1 hormone secreting substance. Do you know what is an Ozempic and Wegovy for real? It's not a GLP-1 drug.
What?
There's only one thing that's in it, and it is not GLP-1 anything.
What is it? What?
It's actually a small piece of protein from the venom of a lizard found in the southwestern deserts of the United States called the Gila or Gila monster lizard venom. And that venom protein is called Exendin-4, Exendin-4. You should show in a viral little clip that will go viral, show the businessinsider.com article titled, "We would never have Ozempic if it wasn't for Gila monster lizard venom." And then they show the lizard and they talk about what that venom in the article called Exendin-4, what it does in a human. Well, I can tell you what it does in a human. If you look at the black box warnings from the FDA approved drug Ozempic, black box warnings are the worst side effects you're going to experience if you try it. This is why Ozempic's being sued for $2 billion right now. People, the majority of the complainants who were injecting themselves with Gila monster lizard venom called Ozempic, when they were doing that once a week, all of a sudden they woke up one day while treating themselves with this prescription drug. They woke up completely blind. That venom causes eye rotting disease and retinal detachment. And you can just go blind all of a sudden. That's what venom does. Venom destroys human tissue and mammal tissue. It's also published to cause every form of medullary thyroid cancer within 12 to 36 months. And it tells you that on the label.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if you're overweight and think you need to lose weight. Do you really think being overweight and adding thyroid cancer is of benefit to you? Does that help you in any way? Do you think eye rotting disease? You should show it. People Magazine has 2 articles right now they published of individuals being interviewed who have eye rotting disease, where their literal eyeballs are rotting in their head while on Ozempic. It's also the most published side effects for this $2 billion lawsuit. People are having paralyzed digestive systems, paralyzed stomachs for years, even after stopping the drug.
No.
Yes. And what happens to them is it paralyzes the little sphincter at the bottom of their stomach. When you swallow food here, it goes into your stomach. Your stomach acid breaks it down into a slurry like a smoothie, then kicks it into your digestive tract where your intestines are supposed to pull the little bitty nutrients out of the slurry. The little valve at the bottom of the stomach that lets the food go down into your intestines, that becomes paralyzed and won't open to let the food go down. For years, it will stay closed. And every drop of water, every snack, every grape you eat, you'll vomit it back up because it can't go down. And these people end up in hospitals, having to have surgeries, you name it, all kinds of stuff. These are the side effects of Venom. The generic name for Ozempic and Wegovy is called semaglutide. Semaglutide is Gila monster lizard venom, called Exendin-4. Remember, in this context of this discussion, I could wrap a piece of paper around some plant leaf called tobacco, and I would look at you and argue with you that this is a cigarette. And I would go like this. No, that's just tobacco leaf wrapped in paper. Could you imagine arguing with me that it's not a cigarette or that it's not tobacco wrapped in paper? That is what it is. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it Ozempic. You can call it Wegovy. You can call it semaglutide. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's still Gila monster venom from a lizard in the deserts of the United States. And this drug just got FDA approved for Medicare age patients covered by Medicare for heart disease. It literally stops the heart. It causes AFib. That's one of its side effects. How in the world can you give that to all these old people covered by Medicare? All right. So if you believe that you have heart disease, diabetes, or you're overweight and would like to lose some weight, I would like to ask you something that you should ask your doctor when they tell you they recommend Ozempic or Wegovy. I would like you to ask your medical doctor this. Hey, doc, are you telling me that Gila monster venom is right for me? Are you saying that I'm fat, can't control my blood sugar, and I have heart disease because I'm Gila monster lizard venom deficient? Is that what you're saying? And if you can't answer true to any of those questions, why are you doing it? Why are you letting any of your loved ones do it? Every medical doctor I've educated on that has immediately called all their patients on it, took them off of it because they didn't even know. And their pharmaceutical reps never told them. But the moment I start sending them the research and the articles, they're like, oh my God, I gotta get my patients off this stuff. Yeah, I know. They didn't tell you what it was. It is a poison. It is deadly. You shouldn't take it. Ozempic was the second most sold drug last year for obesity worldwide, $16 billion. Do you know what tobacco has been published since 1652 to be a cure for? All by itself, tobacco.
What?
It's a known cure for obesity, and it's a hunger regulating molecule in food.
Oh my God.
Which is what they just made $16 billion off of, telling you that they have a drug called semaglutide, generic name, brand name Ozempic and Wegovy. And if you just inject that, you can lose your weight, improve your blood sugar, and improve your heart function. No, nobody out there has a venom deficiency. You're a human. I don't care what they call it. A cigarette still is tobacco leaf wrapped in paper.
Oh my God.
You can call it ketchup all you want. This is not tomatoes smashed up and added to corn syrup. Yes, it is. I don't care what you want to call it. You can call it ketchup. All they did was take tomatoes, smash it up, added some vinegar and corn syrup, and put it in a red bottle and put Heinz name on there, and you started licking it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you call it. It is tomato-based product. It's just smashed tomato with vinegar and water and sugar. Ozempic is nothing more than Gila monster lizard venom, so you should avoid it. Now, I just want y'all to know nicotine is a natural hunger regulator and suppressant, which is what they tell you Ozempic does. Name one chronic smoker you've ever met that was fat.
Right. True.
I'm telling you, you won't find them. A chronic smoker is never fat. You want to know why? Nicotine is a natural hunger suppressant. Did you know that nicotine is also published to reverse type 1 diabetes in some people?
What?
Actually, the majority of people. It can reverse insulin sensitivity or resistance. It can make insulin work better. It can make your pancreas produce more insulin and break down blood sugar faster.
What?
Did you know that heart disease called myocarditis, which is published to be caused by the COVID-19 vaccines, did you know that nicotine in 2021 during the pandemic, while the vaccines were being passed out, bullied by everybody to get them, did you know that the American government was paying a research group to induce myocarditis in animals and then see if nicotine would reverse it in just 3 days? And it did.
What?
Any damage to the heart called myocarditis is completely reversed with 3 days of small amounts of nicotine, either from a patch, a gum, tobacco, a foot soak in tobacco tea or tobacco water. You can totally reverse it. And they did it over and over and over with 3 days of small dose of nicotine. And by day 14, every single animal's heart was cured of its myocarditis.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm dead serious. And did you know autism has been studied for 30 years with nicotine patches between the shoulder blades of all children, adults, and teenagers with autism? And within 7 days, all of their autistic traits improve.
What? Seriously?
Yeah. Did you know that God made the human body? Dr. Ardis believes, I believe, that God created the human body. I don't know what you believe at home. regardless of what you believe. I don't care if you believe in evolution or God. Either Mother Nature evolved you to this state you are right now, sitting here listening to this or watching this, or God created you. It doesn't matter what you believe. I truly mean it. It doesn't matter what you believe in the context of this conversation. Every cell in your body, your skin, your brain, your bone, your eyes, your tongue, your ears, your heart, your bladder, your red blood cells, white blood cells, your bone marrow, your kidneys, your liver. Did you know every cell, every single cell in the human body has nicotine receptors that activate the cell to normally function or
What?
function at its optimum when stimulated by nicotine?
What?
So I promise you 100%. In fact, your white blood cells that fight infections and cure you of cancer have nicotine receptors that require nicotine to activate them to break down the cancer or to kill off the pathogen.
What? Oh my God.
So when I look at you and say, you're already eating nicotine, I'm not telling you have to go get tobacco products, nicotine products over the counter. If you want the benefit of nicotine as God has designed you or Mother Nature has evolved you, if you have a problem with this conversation, it's not with me. I didn't invent you. I didn't create you. I didn't create the tobacco plant. I didn't create any of you listening to this. God did, or Mother Nature did. Wherever you put your attention and your credit to, whoever you're crediting for you physically, you need to take it up with Mother Nature or upon judgment with God. If you believe in God, when you see him on the other side of this journey called human life, when you approach God, your job is to ask him, why? Why was I raised in a world where men and women told me that tobacco and nicotine was bad for me, but you made every cell in my body to benefit from nicotine? Right. I can tell you right now, if you weren't watching the show, this is what God's going to say. I told you to eat all the plants I put in the garden. And I told Adam and Eve, your foreparents, supposedly for all those that are Protestants, I told your foreparents, Adam and Eve, that everything I put in the garden, that included all the nightshade vegetables, was for the benefit of man that I also created. So any of you out there going like this, I don't trust the plants God made, shame on you. Shame on you. If you believe he's perfect, all-knowing, and powerful, that means you think he created stuff that were bad for you. Oh, he didn't. He said everything I created here was for the benefit of man. You know what wasn't in the Garden of Eden? For those of you who believe in God and in creationism, for those of you that believe in God and believe that God said to Adam and Eve in the garden that everything I put here in the garden, I created first, were for the benefit of man. And then when Adam and Eve left the garden and were sent out to the rest of the world, do you know what was not in the garden when God said, everything I put in the garden and I built and created was for the benefit of man? Do you know what wasn't in the garden?
What?
Pfizer, Moderna, CVS, Walgreens, vaccines, drugs, prescriptions. None of those existed.
Right.
Man has convinced you to doubt either your evolutionary view. I mean, check this out. This is serious. I'm talking about evolutionists too and God-fearing, loving people. For those of you who believe that drugs and vaccines will make God's creation work better, shame on you. God got it right the first time. If you actually believe he's all-knowing, all-powerful, and if you believe that, you also then supposedly believe that he created you in his image. Well, if he's perfect, he created you perfectly. For those of you that have accepted the Charles Darwinism evolution, I'm going to talk to you too. Actually, I believe no one should be more pissed than evolutionists about said vaccine agendas. Why? You've been fed the false illusion. And I'm going to tell you right now, it has to be false what they told you. They told you that natural selection is what has created the human organism that has advanced itself intellectually and physically above all other animal creatures. I would like to ask you if that is true for the eons of millennial years where we have figured out to evolve and be the most advanced species on the planet. Why do you believe that you, the most advanced organism of all animals, why do you believe that you all of a sudden in the year 2025 have no ability to fight off something that a bat coughed in China and made the whole world sick?
Crazy.
Why do you think that viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites, why do you think you need drugs and vaccines to survive these things that have been in nature forever?
Mhm.
Why do you accept that your immune system is the only part of the human organism that didn't advance along with the rest of you? You should be the most pissed. Why are you all convinced that now the human experience and species is so advanced that every baby newborn born in this world has no immune system to a sexually transmitted disease called hepatitis B?
Mm,
And as such, they need a vaccine within 24 hours of being born on this planet. I
crazy.
thought you said we were the most advanced. Notice monkeys, apes that you think we came from, they're not getting vaccinated in their babies to survive hepatitis B. Only you are.
Uh,
There's no deer in the wild being born that need a hepatitis B virus vaccine. No, none of them need vaccines. Only you do. Why have you fallen for the all of us has evolved greater than every other organism on the planet? We're the most advanced, but we had no idea how to fight off infections.
Crazy.
We had no ability to do that ever. Thank God for Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca. Thank God for the vaccine makers to keep us safe. No, you all bought a lie, hook, line, and sinker, and this is how they did it. We started off this conversation talking about nicotine, and I said, you've all been programmed to hear one word only after you hear nicotine, and that word is addictive.
Uh-huh.
When you hear or see the word nicotine, the next word in your brain to go through it, it's either one word addictive or two words highly addictive. It's one of those two. When I say this to all evolutionists, atheists, and creationists, when I say vaccines are, three words will appear in all of your brains, seemingly out of nowhere. Vaccines are, and the next words you have been programmed and brainwashed to recall immediately when the word vaccines are said. You have been programmed since birth, all of you, to hear these three words go through your brain when you hear or see the word vaccine. Vaccines are safe and effective.
Yes.
All of you, if I talk bad or if I'm just genuinely honest about ingredients in vaccines, you're going to freak out because vaccines, in your opinion, are nothing more than three words: safe and effective. And that is a truth that is absolute, cannot be questioned. And then I would like to ask you this. For those of you that know anything about vaccines, I would like to ask you this. The hepatitis B vaccine that they give to children in the hospital on day one of birth, the most advanced species on the planet for you evolutionists, for those of you who respect God and the miracle of the womb that created this beautiful child perfectly as God designed it. And that thing comes out, and your man standing there, a woman with a mask, says it's time for us to vaccinate your kid. God forgot an immune system, or evolution and Mother Nature forgot it. Someone forgot it. We have the answer. When they say that to you and you go, yeah, vaccines are safe and effective. Sure, go ahead. Do you know that hepatitis B vaccines, do you know there's 4 of them, and 2 of them have in the first ingredient something called MRC-5 is the first ingredient on the label?
That.
And I would like to ask any of you out there, do you know what MRC-5 is? Well, for all of you out there just thinking all vaccines are safe and effective because that's all you've been brainwashed to think 24/7, just like nicotine is addictive. MRC-5, I want you to type it into Google wherever you are right now. Just go to your Google search engine, type in MRC-5, hit enter, then click the Wikipedia page and read just the first 2 sentences. MRC-5 are human cells that were taken from the lungs of a 14-week-old Caucasian male fetus that was murdered and aborted from its mother in 1966.
What?
Now, for all of you out there who are still convinced that MRC-5, abortal fetal tissue from a baby boy born in 1966, lung tissue, yeah, they say it's safe and effective. I don't need to know that's in there. What difference does that make? All right, I want to ask you a question. What organ in the human body of the baby they're telling you that needs this hepatitis B vaccine, what organ does the hepatitis B virus infect to make a person sick? It's in the name, by the way. HEPA. You know what HEPA means? HEPA?
Mm-mm.
HEPA is Latin for liver.
Liver.
So
Yeah.
hepatitis, you've heard of hepatitis A, B, C.
Yeah.
Hepatitis is liver inflammation or
Liver.
liver infection. So I would like to ask any of you out there, if you think vaccines, let's just stay away from the safe part. Let's just go with the effective tone. Vaccines are effective. I would like to ask you, can you please explain to me how lung cells from a baby murdered in 1966, how the cells of that little male boy, which is the first ingredient in 2 of the hepatitis B vaccines that you will never know which one they're giving your kid. I would like to ask you, how can you explain to Dr. Ardis how lung cells from a murdered baby in 1966 can help my child, Dr. Ardis's child, beat a liver infection in his liver?
What?
And if you can't explain it, I'd like you to ask your medical doctor to explain it to you. And when he has no clue what that is, when you say, hey, doc, is the vaccine you're recommending, does it have MRC-5 in it, like some of the hepatitis B vaccines do? And if he looks at you and goes, I don't even know what that is, you should say, please go do your own research. Let's talk about vaccines later, because he obviously has some stuff to learn. You've all been also programmed to believe a phrase our whole life. Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorance means to remain uneducated in a topic. So let me just rephrase that. To remain uneducated in a topic is bliss. Is it? Is it? Being uneducated. I just want y'all to know, you all watched, and I'm sure some of y'all were in conflict with even your family members or your spouse or your children during COVID-19 around COVID-19 vaccines.
Yep.
It used to be said there's 2 topics you can't talk about at a dinner table with family. And what were those 2 topics? Religion and politics.
Yeah.
You can't bring those up. Oh no, there's 3 now, and it's been very intentional. No one should talk about religion, politics, or vaccines at the dinner table. They have created so much hatred, so much judgment, so much shame, and they created a narrative that many of us fell into, which was pro-vaccine or pro-vaxxers and anti-vaxxers is the word. So
Yeah.
I want to summarize something for you. It's not that there are people who love and trust vaccines, and then there's those that are anti-vaccine. That isn't the narrative. It's just what they told you. That is not what is going on here. It is truly those who are naive and ignorant get vaccinated versus those who are educated. And that is it. So you're either uneducated about vaccines, so you keep doing it and keep defending them and then making people feel bad they're not doing it when you don't know a damn thing about them. And then the other group who's done any research on their own to educate themselves, the moment they've educated themselves on even one vaccine, they start questioning all of them. And they start hesitating and pushing back. And the truth is, you just don't know what you're talking about. Just like in the beginning of this conversation, how many of you knew that your ketchup French fries were loaded with nicotine every time you gave them to your grandkids or your nephew or nieces? How many of you knew that? How come every fast food chain you've been to, how come your ketchup and your potato chips or French fries don't come with a warning label that this contains nicotine, a highly addictive substance?
Right.
How come eggplants don't come with a sticker on them to warn you that it has nicotine and you might be addictive and wake up with night sweats and not be able to go to work and not be able to function for 8 hours without a eggplant break? There's a reason. And just so y'all know, if you eat nightshade vegetables, and for those of you who are wondering how true this might be for you, medicalnewstoday.com has an article from last year. And the title of this very reputable medical journal reads this way, I quote, "Can dietary nicotine prevent and reverse Parkinson's disease?"
Wow.
I'll repeat, can dietary nicotine reverse and prevent Parkinson's disease? The words I want you to focus on in the title of this very reputable medical journal, which is all about how nicotine can prevent and reverse Parkinson's and the proof and all the studies referenced, The title reads, Can Dietary Nicotine? Now, before this interview, most of you probably didn't even know you were eating nicotine. No one's around eating and swallowing tobacco leaves. So when you read the title, wouldn't you wonder who's eating nicotine? No one's eating nicotine patches and swallowing it. Like dietary nicotine would be in your diet. Well, what's dietary nicotine? You don't have to use a nicotine product. You don't have to go buy a nicotine agent like patches, gum, suckets, mints. You don't need that. You don't need the tobacco plant. Nicotine and all of its healing qualities, even for Parkinson's disease, was printed last year in a medical journal that it has been proven that nightshade vegetables, when consumed every day or week, prevents, reduce, and can cure people of their Parkinson's disease symptoms.
Wow. What?
So
You know what? Nicotine, the patches are known in biohacking, within biohacking, to be a nootropic. So it's starting
It
to
is
be
called a nootropic, nootropic. What is that? What does that word mean?
like
to the
brain
audience?
enhancer, like brain enhancer.
It enhances all brain function.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can't remember stuff as well as you used to, can't recall information, calculate as fast as you can used to, if your motor skills are not as fluid or as easy as they used to be, they're called psychomotor skills. If you are seeing gait issues, wobbling, imbalance issues, did you know that nicotine's proven to reverse all that by itself? Did you know that the tobacco plant is called in medical journals around the world for 500 years now? It's called the panacea of panaceas. And do you know what panacea, the word, means?
What?
We're learning all kinds of stuff here. Panacea in medical journals for 500 years, dating back to 1492, I have in my possession. Tobacco and nicotine in it. Tobacco. We're talking about tobacco that all of you despise, has been demonized, bastardized, you name it. Tobacco has been published in mainstream medical journals for 500 years, going back to 1492. It's been published. Tobacco is the panacea of panaceas. And the word panacea is Latin, and it means a cure for all human diseases.
What?
Tobacco is called the panacea of all panaceas and has been for 500 years. This is why the pharmaceutical industry, which pays the FDA the most money every year in lobbying money, and fees and fines, the FDA was told in 1994 by Big Pharma to tell all of us to avoid tobacco. It is bad for you. It is addictive, and it causes cancer. And just so you know, tobacco has been known for 500 years to cure all cancers, like I mentioned earlier. So now you're starting to understand the first two drugs sold last year in revenue totals. Number one was Keytruda, a cancer drug. Number two worldwide revenuing drug last year was Ozempic, Gila monster venom for weight loss and diabetes. Number three is a drug called Eliquis for atrial fibrillation. Did you know that in 2012, tobacco was published? Tobacco by itself was proven to cure atrial fibrillation and all heart disease?
What? Oh my God.
There's a reason why Big Pharma is now bribing all governments of the world. 200 countries right now have active regulations and restrictions on nicotine and tobacco products and are being told to ban access to all tobacco and nicotine in your country by the year 2030. And 200 countries are on board right now.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
No.
Which is why this message is so important. This is why I wrote the book, Moving Beyond the COVID-19 Lies. Actually, next year, I've already decided I'm going to write a book called Moving Beyond the Nicotine is Addictive Lies. That's going to be the next book.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just lay it out for you. For those of you who are curious, there's a PowerPoint you can download for free on my website at the resources tab. It's actually titled The Other N-Word. Now, it's in a PDF form, which means when you download it, it's just one document. You can just read it like a book if you want to. But it's called The Other N-Word because nicotine is such a politically polarized, intentional word.
Yeah.
You have been programmed to not trust it, to think it was demonic and addictive, and you would lose your soul to it and your physical facilities or faculties with it. So you've been told to avoid it. The truth is, in 1994, we were all lied to about nicotine and tobacco for one reason and one reason only, in my opinion. They knew there was an agenda. for 2020 to introduce a new massive worldwide vaccine agenda for a new gene therapy altering vaccine. And they had to get you for the next 26 years from 1994 to 2020, had to get the majority of the world convinced to not be consuming tobacco products whatsoever because tobacco users were the most immune to COVID-19 and never would get it. And if you never got sick with COVID, guess what, young lady? Guess what? The people who were smoking like chimneys never got COVID, never were sick. Do you think they would have been the ones that thought they needed to go get a vaccine, an experimental injection in the Home Depot parking lot in a drive-through? Why? They never got sick. It was never a threat to them. So they had to get the majority of the world to not be consuming tobacco products because that nicotine would protect them from the COVID-19 symptoms. And as long as people aren't getting the symptoms, they're not going to buy into this new gene therapy, never proven safe and effective ever. So they lied to all of us for 26 years. And it went like this. I actually show you this, the documents. The CDC reports that in America, when they announced in 1994 that tobacco has an addictive substance called nicotine, in 1994, when they lied to you and said that, 51% of all American adults were smoking cigarettes or using tobacco in America.
Wow.
That means half of the 300 million adults in America would never have gotten sick with COVID.
Right.
By the time 2020 comes, after we've all been listening to billboards, listening to radio announcements, TV commercials, that nicotine is bad for you and it's only in tobacco products, and put those warning labels on every tobacco product ever, you've all just seen warning. This substance has nicotine, an addictive substance. So you would stay away from it. Between 1994 and 2020, the number of adults in America, percentage that was using tobacco in those 26 years, if you don't think propaganda works, it went from 51% of all American adults were using tobacco in 1994. By the time the pandemic started, only 11% of Americans were using tobacco products.
Oh my God.
Seriously? So now you got 90% of all adults who will now be susceptible to COVID because they're not using tobacco. And then they would sign up for their vaccine agenda, which was the announcement by Joe Biden's White House. They have a document titled The Agenda of the White House for COVID-19. And it actually says number one agenda, an injection in every arm. That's exactly what it wrote. This was the agenda all along, was an experimental injection. And they needed you to not have faith in a plant that was the godsend, God creation to protect you from this virus. And I repeat here, not what I've already said here in this interview, but I've repeated this on other platforms. I'm wearing a 5 milligram nicotine patch right now. They don't even sell that size. I just buy any size and cut it down to a 3 to 5 milligram size.
Yeah.
You know, in the last 4 years, I've learned that medical doctors, medical science knows that every flu virus known to man, there's 29 different flu strains. All of them attack nicotine receptors and are prevented with nicotine.
What? What?
Did you know it's published that the rabies virus that you're told you can only get a vaccine for is 100% cured in dogs, animals, humans with nicotine alone?
Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Did you know that nicotine is also published to cure HIV infected people?
What? Wait. Oh my, what?
If you want to know why. Oh, and did you know that an HIV drug was the 9th most sold drug in the whole world last year, revenue-wise? Really? This is why Big Pharma hates tobacco, hates nicotine. They need you. And they have been lying to all of you, knowing you will defend the lie to people when you're not educated. You haven't read anything, just like with vaccines. Oh, let me give you another example of a vaccine ingredient. You ready? When I say vaccine, you think safe and effective. When I say vaccine, I'm going to say specifically the flu vaccine. So let's do this. Young lady, do you know how many flu vaccines there are currently on the market right now, every year for every flu season? Do you know how many different flu vaccines there are? There's 9 different ones. Okay. Can you name any of the name brand 9 flu vaccines? No. All right. So you don't know what they are. That's okay. You at home, do you know? Can you name any of the 9 different flu vaccines? Did you know there were 9 different ones? And when you take little Johnny, your grandchild, your child, in for their pediatric wellness check, and they tell you that it's time for your 6-month-old little Johnny to get his first flu vaccine, annual flu vaccine for the rest of his life. When they say this to you, do you know there's 9 different ones he has to choose from? And do you know which one of the 9 he's offering your kid or you?
Mm-mm.
You might want to ask them, which flu vaccine are you wanting to give me? And then look it up on your phone. Go into Google and type it in. One of the 9, I'm just going to say here, for those of you who just think they're all safe and effective, one of the 9 flu vaccines every human born in America for their entire life. It's the only shots before COVID. We were all told we needed every year we were alive until we're buried, starting at 6 months old until you die. Flu vaccines for everybody. Okay. Did you know that one of these 9 flu vaccines, its first ingredient, I quote, are these 5 words?
What?
Medine, Darby, canine, kidney cells.
What? What?
Oh, and by the way, anybody wondering where I got this? I got it off the CDC's website. Go to the cdc.gov's website. In the search engine, type vaccine excipient summary appendix B, and it will pull up on a link. And then you will be able to read everything I'm telling you right now on one document. They show you all the vaccines on the schedule and all their ingredients. One of the flu vaccines, first ingredient is Medine Darby canine kidney cells. Now, let's break this down. There's the third word is canine. Can you please tell the audience what canine means?
Yeah, dog.
It's Latin for dog. All right. Anybody out there believe they need dog kidney cells? That's the last 3 words, dog kidney cells, to help you or little Johnny beat a lung infection called the flu? This is my next question for you. How are kidney cells from a dog supposed to help you beat a respiratory infection?
Right.
And how many of you think your children are deficient in a dog's kidney cells? I think if you were intended to be a dog and you needed kidney cells, I think he would have turned you into a dog or made you into a dog on day 5, not day 6 when he made humans. All right. Next thing, we're not done with these 5 words. I just told you the canine kidney cells, last 3 words. So now you have a visual. It came from a dog. What is this Medine Darby reference? Well, I encourage all of you at home to type in the word Medine, M-A-D-I-N-E, Darby, D-A-R-B-Y. Type in these words. What is Medine Darby? It's a Cocker Spaniel.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
That's the scientific name for Cocker Spaniel, the breed of dogs. But they gave it to you in Latin. Medine Darby. Canine is Latin for dog. Kidney cells. Kidneys was the only actual true English word. So I'd like to ask all of you at home, can you tell Dr. Ardis, can you explain to me how injecting Cocker Spaniel kidney cells into anybody helps them ward off and fight off a viral lung infection? And if you can't explain it, I'm going to ask you, if you can't explain it to me, go get your medical doctor and pediatrician who's telling you your kid needs it. Go ask him to explain it to you themselves and watch their face when they go like this. Wait, there's no Cocker Spaniel cells inside of a vaccine. Then hold up your CDC vaccine excipient summary, appendix B from the CDC, and go, obviously you don't know about what you're talking about. You're recommending something you haven't even researched yourself. And then I would like to ask you this. What type of infection is the flu? Is it virus, bacteria, fungal, or parasite, young lady?
Virus.
It is a virus. They call it the influenza virus.
Mhm.
Did you know that 7 of the 9 flu virus vaccines have 2 antibiotics in them?
What?
And then I'd like to ask you, do you know what antibiotics only treat? What kind of infection? Viral, bacterial, fungal, or parasitic?
Bacterial.
They only fight bacterial infections. So I'd like to ask you, why would they put 2 antibiotics that only treat bacterial infections? Why would they put that in a virus vaccine for the flu?
What?
And then I would like to ask all of you at home, if you still think they're safe and effective, all flu vaccines, I would like you to ask, just take 5 seconds to do one thing for me. Type in the name of these 2 antibiotics into Google. Type in neomycin, Neomycin, and kanamycin, Kanamycin, which are the 2 ingredients in 7 of the 9 flu shots. And it's in most of the vaccines for viruses for some stupid reason. Look up neomycin and kanamycin and type these words in. Neomycin and kanamycin links to cause respiratory arrest and death. Look it up.
What?
Neomycin and kanamycin are published within 48 hours to cause respiratory arrest and heart failure, cardiac arrest in many people. And then I'd like to ask you, do you believe antibiotics that are known to cause cardiac arrest and respiratory failure, which leads to death, is right for your kid? And my next question for you is, if you didn't know there were 9 flu vaccines out there, and I just told you about 7 who have 2 heart-failing, lung-failing ingredients that lead to death that don't even treat a virus, they're called antibiotics. 7 out of the 9 have that. And one of an additional of the 7 antibiotics-loaded ones, the other one has Medine Darby canine kidney cells, Cocker Spaniels. Do you know what the other 1 flu vaccine of the 9 I've just named? There are 7 that have these death-causing side effect chemicals in them that don't even treat viruses. One of them has dog kidney cells in them. That's a total of 8 of the 9. Do you know which one of the 9 doesn't have those ingredients in it?
What?
That you could look at your medical doctor and go, you know what? I think I'd rather give that one to my kids that has less or not any of those other things in it. Do you know which ones they are?
What?
And if you don't, do you still think they're all safe and effective without knowing anything else? There's a reason why anti-vaxxers are anti-vaccines. They're actually anti-poisoners. They don't really like the idea of blindly poisoning children, pets, and humans and parents with substances that are unnecessary and can do more harm than good, even published to do so.
Yeah. There's a whole list. I mean, I've looked at the list before on the CDC. There's like lead and nickel. There's all type of crazy, mercury in some of them.
Most of them have aluminum, and aluminum causes dementia, ALS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS is linked to aluminum poisoning. Why would you inject that in your kids? Oh, did you know most of the vaccines have a substance called polysorbate 80 in them? It's almost in all of them.
What's that?
Polysorbate 80 is a chemical that they add to our food and into our vaccines. And this chemical is known to do one thing and one thing only, and they tell you it's why they put it in vaccines.
What?
It punches holes in the blood-brain barrier of the person who receives the chemical.
Oh.
And when you punch holes in the blood-brain barrier, that kid, that child, that baby, that adult, their brain has been given by either evolution or by God the most dense, strongest tissue in the human body called dura. And that dura is called the blood-brain barrier, and it's like this armor plate around your entire spinal cord and your brain and your skull. Polysorbate 80 is a chemical man invented that they know punches holes in this armor for your brain and spinal column, which controls your whole body's function. They now know they can get everything they expose you to, poison in your food, air, water, drugs, vaccines. They know they can get any of that crap into your brain, and you will develop neurological diseases, ADD, ADHD, autism, Parkinson's, MS, you name it. And they know they can profit off of your misery and your suffering. They will blame your problem on your genetics 100% of the time, which is a flat out fraud. They have been poisoning you since you were born, injecting poisons inside of you since you were born. And it allows other poisons they know you'll get in your food, in your vaccines, in your air, in your water. They know now they have the ability to get those poisons to your brain, that they can profit off of you for the rest of your life by prescribing drugs to you. Behind a lie that you're going to buy into, that all of your suffering is genetic and you inherited all these problems. No, you didn't. If you weren't born with it, it's not genetic. I repeat, if you weren't born with it, it's not genetic. Your eye color, you know that's genetic. And you had your eye color in the first year. It was defined after you were born. And everyone in your family looked at you and went like this, oh, he's got Auntie Susie's blue eyes. Everybody's identifying what genes you inherited at the time you were born. You got red hair from Grandma Betty. You got whoever, right? They tell your skin tone, nose, ears, eyes, everything. Oh my God, they got all of this from so-and-so. All of your genetics, even your health, was already present at birth. So if you weren't born with high blood pressure, but it showed up in your 50s, you don't have a genetic inherited high blood pressure. You would have had high blood pressure the day you were born.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You don't have cancer in your 70s because your mom and dad did. That's dumb.
Yeah.
You've,
Yeah.
you've had the same genetics for 70 years. No, that's not true. You've been lied to. You do not have fibromyalgia because your mom or dad did. You do not have lupus because your grandma did. No,
Nope.
you don't have any of those. You've all been lied to. You have been poisoned your whole life, introducing things through vaccines, drugs, air, water, and food that you believe is food that has been intentionally harming the human body, creating scenarios of suffering that you are being programmed through television and commercials every day, that when you have a symptom, go one place and one place only.
Yeah.
Go to your medical doctor and they will prescribe a drug to you to fix it. There's not a single symptom. Let's name some symptoms: fever, cough, chills, pain, inflammation, diarrhea, acid reflux, blurry vision, ringing in your ears, headaches. I just named a bunch of symptoms. Not a single one of those symptoms that a human being has ever experienced in your whole life, 100% of all symptoms, none have ever existed or started because you were deficient in a prescription drug.
True.
So why, when the symptom starts, do you run for a prescription pad for a drug?
Right. Right.
A fever is not a Tylenol deficiency.
No.
A fever is not a Motrin deficiency. Yet, why do you keep feeding your kid or yourself Motrin and Tylenol as if you're deficient in Tylenol?
Right.
Oh, you've been lied to about fevers. Why does the body make a fever? God did not screw up in his design. Evolution did not miss this point. It didn't just all of a sudden have the most advanced species organism on the planet, but it overheats itself. No, that's not what happened. Okay. The fever is intentionally designed either by evolution or by God. The hypothalamus, a part of your brain, controls core body temperature. And when bacteria, fungi, and parasites get in your body and your immune system detects it, the hypothalamus signals to your body to increase its core body temperature to cook the bacteria, fungus, or parasite to death. How do you clean water when you have bacteria, fungi, yeast? If you took spring water, what do they tell you on a campsite? How would you get the pathogens out of it? They would tell you to boil it. It will kill all the bacteria, parasites that are in the water. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
The body heats itself up to kill those things. And what does your brilliant, dumb medical doctors who just listened to the medical programming in school, I'm not blaming them, but they were dumb when they repeated this to you. They didn't use common sense at all. Why would the body heat itself up? It heats itself up to cook to death the bacteria, fungi, and parasites. And the body, as God or evolution designed it, actually put in place stopping points, breaking points. You've seen it in anybody with a high fever when it spikes is what you hear. Oh, it spiked. Good. Do you know what the spiking is of a fever if you just let it run its course?
What?
It will go up and up and up and up and up and up slowly, and the brain is analyzing this. The moment it recognizes and gets reports back from your immune system that the bacteria, fungi, or parasites are now dying from a specific temperature, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, when it gets the notification that it's been enough heat and they have died, then the fever turns off. It spikes. They call it spiking, but it's actually shutting off. It did its job. You know what's amazing about this? Your medical profession is told from the time they enter school, fevers are bad. You as a mother freak out whenever your kid gets a fever above 98.6 at 99.1. You're all panicking and want to go to your pediatrician because any fever is bad. It is not bad. In fact, do you know what temperature it's actually published causes brain damage?
What?
108.
Wow.
It can't even happen until you reach 108. So why are y'all freaking out at 99, 100, 101, 102, 103? Why? Oh, why are you freaking out? It's only because you haven't been told the truth and your medical doctors have been lied to and they're repeating that lie to you. And I think that's dumb. Go do your own research and use common sense. All right. So number 2, my question about fevers is just an analogy and a scenario for you to consider. If the fever, as God designed or Mother Nature designed in evolution, is the way the body helps fight off infections, pathogens that's introduced into the body faster, do you think a human being's body will heal faster or slower if you turn off the fever with Tylenol and Motrin?
Right.
Will you get better faster or slower?
Slower.
Anybody out there with a sick child with a fever, do you want them to have a fever, be sick longer or shorter?
Shorter.
You should let the fever run its course. The body knows what it's doing. God designed it perfectly, or Mother Nature designed it perfectly. Stop acting like Mother Nature or God screwed up. He didn't screw up. Man's convincing you these all normal processes of the human body to protect itself, heal itself, and defend itself. They're telling you there's something wrong with this organism. When I say evolution should be the most pissed, you should be the most pissed. Y'all act like we're the least advanced species on the planet when it comes to immunity. Why do we not have to vaccinate all the rabbits and foxes and possums and pangolins and bats in the world? Why? Why are they still thriving unless we shoot them? Why? Without vaccines, without drugs, how can they give birth to animals, even hoofed animals and antlers? How are they possibly giving birth in the wild without C-sections? Why is 90% of all humans convinced now your body's not designed correctly to reproduce? So you need in vitro fertilization clinics to help you get pregnant, when in fact it's the most normal thing. Listen, evolutionists, this is what drives me crazy. You believe we're the most advanced species on the planet. How come we can't procreate anymore? How come 1 in 2 couples in Canada can't get pregnant now? How come 1 in 6 couples in America can't get pregnant now? How come you need science in a lab to put a sperm and an egg together in a petri dish and then put it inside of your body? Okay, if you're the most advanced species on the planet, how come you suck at reproducing all of a sudden and you're the only group of animals that can't do it without intervention? The truth is you've all been poisoned since birth, and that's why you can't reproduce. And this is why they have to take the egg out of your body, which is a poisoned environment, and take the sperm out of the male, which has an internal toxic environment, and they put it in a neutral environment in a lab without those toxins around. And finally, they can get those two things to go together. If you just clean up your internal environment from the external crap you keep putting in it, all of life will be great. Ask the animals why they keep on thriving and continue to procreate, recreate without an emergency room. Does it not surprise you? How come all the animals around the world didn't die from this bat virus, but the most advanced species on the planet, human beings, had to go to Home Depot parking lots to get a vaccine?
Freaking insane.
I know, I'm really sorry, but life is more common sense, and human beings find ways to make it very confusing for you. And that's intentional. The more information they can flood you with, things that make you confused, they know the human condition, studying mind control studies. If you overload somebody with confusing narratives 24/7, they eventually stop doing their own research, stop making their own decisions, and will wait to be given instruction by who they see as an authority figure. Either a doctor in a white coat, in a newscast, a president on the stage. I mean, I'll just have to say this right now. I was standing on stages around the country. I was in state capitol buildings around the country during COVID, testifying on your behalf, how to hold state medical boards, pharmaceutical boards, and hospitals liable for killing your loved ones in hospitals with COVID protocols. That's what I was doing while you were at home, watching Disney Plus, Hulu, and Netflix, binging on that crap because that's the only thing you had at home during COVID and you couldn't work. That's what I was doing.
Wow.
24/7 on your behalf. What was the most shocking? Where these people had no idea until I told them and showed them that the only people in the whole world who were dying in hospitals, and everyone that was dying was on one drug called remdesivir. And do you know, all of you out there who think you live in the great land of the free, all of you that are pride-filled Americans, for example, America's built on pride. Do you know that when COVID-19 happened, right now, looking at all the statistics, do you know there's only one country in the whole world who sucked the most at keeping their citizens alive? There can only be one who had more deaths of its citizens than all other countries. Do you know which great country that was who had more people die during COVID than any other country in the whole wide world? It was America. And do you know America is the only country that had over 1 million people die in their country, and it was 1.9 million. No other country even had 1 million people die. We had twice as many deaths as the next country, and the next country was Brazil. Do you know that the only country in the whole world in 2020, when the first 700,000 people died in America before any other country did, Do you know all of them were being pumped full of a drug that shuts down your kidneys and 53% of all people you pump it into, called remdesivir, which makes their lungs fill with water, called pulmonary edema, that every doctor was told that the hospital would make more money if you wrote down death caused by COVID-19 pneumonia. Don't write pulmonary edema, which is water in the lungs. Write down COVID-19 pneumonia and we'll get a big bonus. And they did, all of them. So I just want you to know, you live in a world of deceit, and that's okay. It's all for profit, greed, and you're suffering. And the truth is, I am here to help remind you that God already gave you all the answers. Your body was designed perfectly. Only man in science wants to continue to convince you it isn't good enough. Well, evolutionist, supposedly you think it's the greatest organism on earth. Why do you keep behaving like it isn't? It's so weird. And then all of you creationists and those like me that believe in God and that we were created intentionally with an incredible, miraculous design. You just need to be reminded that he made you last. He saved you for last. And before he made you, he said, everything I put on the earth, I created for the benefit of man. What was that? Animals were the day before that. Before that was plants. So look at all the plants, food, nutrients, herbs, minerals, vitamins. I mean, think about it. Minerals and vitamins all come from plants. Right before plants was water and soil. Well, where does the plants get the minerals that boost your immune system, like zinc and iodine and selenium and magnesium? That was never packaged in a bottle in the garden. It was in the fruits and vegetables they want you to eat and that he made for you. So if you'll go back to a more traditional, natural diet, your whole life can transform.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if all of you even have a respect for this. Do you know that every cell on your body, you shed cells of your skin's upper layer every day and then you replace it with new cells underneath there?
Yeah.
Did you know that your body, you and I right now, if we did another interview in 7 years from now, do you know there won't be a single cell in that interview looking at each other that was here today?
Wow.
7 years from now, our entire body, every bone cell, heart cell, brain cell, eye cell, tongue cell, hearing cell, all of it is 100% replaced with new cells. So if you want to transform your life in 7 years, your entire life can be physically very different. You can either make it worse or you can transform it for the better. And it's already designed inherently, or evolutionist, it's evolved that way. But stop poisoning yourself voluntarily without studying and doing your own research. That's my blessing to you. And if you want to learn how to do that, follow the Dr. Ardis Show. If you want to learn more about how to make yourself healthy, how I raised 5 kids without vaccines, no drugs, no antibiotics, and 4 of them are adults now and have been in public school their whole life and have been to universities and colleges, state-funded schools, never had a vaccine. None of them are on a prescription. None of them have a medical disease. This is all new information for you. This has been a 25-year journey for me. I got 4 kids, 20, 22, 21, and 24. And none of them have ever been vaccinated. None of them needed drugs, and they're completely healthy with no medical conditions or diagnoses. This is odd to all of you, just as odd as it is for an 80 or 90-year-old to go to a medical doctor for a follow-up and them asking them, what medications are you on? If a 70, 80, or 90-year-old looks at them and goes, I'm on no medications. Do you know how freaked out and blown away the medical doctor and nurses are? They're like, wait, what? What do you mean you're not on any drugs? You are the anomaly. You were never designed to live on drugs. Drugs can be miraculous in short emergency situations.
Yes.
For example, if you have acid reflux, bleeding ulcer, and you want to just kick down the acid, go grab Prilosec, go get Zantac, go get Tums, Rolaids. That's medicine to suppress the symptom that's not allowing you to sleep or is just irritating. That's fine to use it, but when you get it and it provides that benefit, do you know bleeding ulcers are the #1 side effect of that drug that I just named? If you keep doing it. So just use it for the short-term emergency use. And at the same time, please either go online and look up herbs, minerals, and vitamins that help to reverse acid reflux, or find a nutritionist, herbalist, chiropractor, naturopath in your area who can help you figure out how naturally to resolve the issue. 90% of all drugs in the world that you get a prescription for to go to CVS and Walgreens, 90% of all of them, the compound that's in the pill that you're buying from the pharmacy was isolated from a plant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they paid scientists to figure out how to make a synthetic, unnatural version.
Yep.
And your body's a natural substance, evolutionist and creationist. You are natural.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put anything unnatural inside of it, there's always horrific, unwanted effects. They call those side effects.
Mm-hmm.
But with nature, you don't get those same horrible side effects. It doesn't mean you won't get any side effects. You can get any side effects with anything if you don't do it in moderation. So what are some side effects? If you decide you're going to start taking magnesium, for example, which is found in the dirt, and you can buy it in a supplement form.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to know if you're getting too much magnesium? You'll get diarrhea.
Mm.
They actually call it bowel tolerance. There's a certain amount every human being will tolerate consuming magnesium in one day, and the body knows when it's too much, and it intelligently just kicks out the excess in diarrhea. And then you were told, just back down the dose until you don't get diarrhea. And that's the amount of magnesium you need every single day for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Vitamin C, if you get too much of that, what happens? Well, any amount of vitamin C is good for you until you start getting diarrhea. And some people can go to 20,000 milligrams and not get diarrhea. Some can go 10,000, 1,000, 500 milligrams and they'll get diarrhea. Just go just below that to the point where you don't. Moderation in all things, people. The less poisoning, the better you will be. You should limit your poisoning efforts.
my brain, my freaking brain. You know what? It just makes me so freaking sick. The system, you know, I mean, my dad died when I was 19 years old of knee surgery. So it's like, you know, they messed my brother up. I mean, now he's been on dialysis for 9 years. I mean, he's like the golden child of Western medicine. Like he takes probably 90 pills a day. I mean, the money that they earn off of him, I mean, he is the golden child for Big Pharma. So, I mean, it's just, it's insanity what these systems do.
Do you remember back in our day? How old are you?
38.
38. I'm 48. Do you remember back in our day, you would have been really little. Do you remember hearing the phrase, maybe even seeing it in school, seeing it on cartoon commercials, TV even, that an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Do you remember that phrase?
Yeah.
Do you know that when the pharmaceutical industry took over all the media in the mid-90s, they made sure to delete that from everybody's awareness?
I know. They don't ever say that anymore.
You'll never see it in school. You'll never see it on a milk carton. You'll never see it as a poster in a school or cafeteria. You'll never see it anywhere. In favor of what? Everybody on planet Earth now is being convinced that in order to stay healthy, you need a vaccine.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you don't. You always needed food to keep the doctor away, which means if you ate healthy food, and the key to the apple is this: what was in the apple that would keep your doctor away? I've used this analogy before. It's not like the old wives' tale that if a vampire's around, just eat garlic. A vampire won't kill you, right? If you want to keep vampires away, you eat garlic. That is not what they're saying about apples. If you eat apples, somehow there's some weird thing that keeps doctors away from you. That's not what they're saying. They're saying you don't need doctors if you just keep eating apples every day. Because in apples are vitamins and minerals that boost the natural immunity of the human. And the more nutrients you have in your body, the less often you will get sick, the less doctors you will need. So when you go away from food and nutrients and replace it with synthetics, guess what kind of society we create? Obese, cardiovascular, cancer-ridden, diabetic-ridden individuals. And the more you do that and keep not eating apples every day and the fruits from the garden and vegetables from the garden every day as it was given to you by God, in my opinion, for the benefit of man, as you go away from those things that God gave us and you go to things man wants to sell you and give you, the worse off your God created or Mother Nature created organism is going to function. And they will profit off of your misery forevermore, unfortunately.
It's freaking terrible. You know, they put yoga mat material inside of bread to prevent molding. Like, we're eating yoga mats. Like, freaking insane.
Have you seen the published reports that all Americans, when they take their blood work, are accumulating in their diet 1 credit card sized amount of plastic every week?
Every week.
It's every week.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Every freaking week?
Oh yeah. You know how many people are still putting plastic ware in a microwave and microwaving their food?
Terrible.
How many people are storing their acidic tomato paste inside of Tupperware, which is plastic, and it will just leach the plastic from there? Do you know how many people are still drinking from cans that are sprayed with plastic inside the carbonated drink? And all that plastic goes into the medium, and you drink it, you consume it. It is upwards of a credit card, literal, physical amount of plastic being found in the bodies of every people per week we consume plastic.
Oh my God. How do you even, I mean, how are you supposed to stay healthier in such a, like, okay, yes, you can eat the food, but now the food doesn't even contain the minerals and the vitamins like it used to because the glyphosate, like our soil is dead. So we're not even getting what we need from the food. And I mean, how do you even, we walk down the street and we're breathing in the plastic from the rubber tires. I mean, how do you get away from this stuff? Like,
yeah, very good. This is all why I created the Dr. Ardis show, to educate people why you are sick and then how to reverse those symptoms and what are the basics to do that. You got to detox the crap out of you. So how do you do that? And how do you even know where to start? Well, it's actually very simple. It's way easier than you think. If you wanted to improve your health overall and get the plastics out of you, the heavy metals you're inhaling from chemical trails in the sky called chemtrails that you're inhaling every day and they're spraying on us every day, full of aluminum oxide powder, by the way, which is what that is primarily, the white lines in the sky that falls to the earth and you breathe it in, drink it in, swallow it in. If you want to get that out of you, do you know what the number one thing to do is? Drink distilled water every single day. Distilled water grabs heavy metals and helps you urinate and poop them out. Sweat them out. Yeah. So distilled water is one of the water you drink is very important. People, even after listening to this, you might go, I've heard distilled water is bad for you. No, you haven't. you may have heard a reference to it. You don't know that. You don't know anything about that, unfortunately. So every bit of water, fresh water in the world that is required by all trees, plants, animals to thrive, particularly mammals and those that live on the earth, you need fresh water. Do you know where that fresh water comes from? Rain. Do you know what rain is? Rain is distilled water. Do you know what distilling means? It means to heat up water, turn the liquid water into the gas form called vapors. And as the vapors rise, it hits a piece of metal or a piece of glass and it condensates. And that collection of pure vaporized water no longer has glyphosate, heavy metals, poisons in the water, chlorine in the water. It's just water in the air collecting, and then it goes down a pipe and collects into a pitcher or a jar or a vase. And that is distilled water. That's exactly how the entire earth works. It heats up the lakes, it heats up the oceans, and it vaporizes water and it collects and condensates into clouds. When it gets too heavy, it falls like distilled water on the whole earth. When you cut open a watermelon and all fruits and vegetables, do you know what kind of water is in it? It's already published. It is distilled water. The plants actually distill the water. So you are designed to live off of distilled water. And if you want to learn more about how to get the toxins out of you, how can you make yourself, your animals, your loved ones, your home healthy again? I actually have a conference coming up next month, October 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Dallas, Texas. Go to the website, healingfortheages.com. Healingfortheages.com. You can also get there from my site, the Dr. Ardis Show, as you see at the bottom of the screen. You can get to the conference. The whole conference is a 3-day conference. The theme of this year's annual conference is Make Yourself Healthy Again. And I'm going to teach you, along with other speakers, Dr. Ed Group, Dr. Sherry Timpany, Dr. Jana Schmidt, Dr. Henry Ely. We're going to be teaching you all the things we have learned over our multi-decades careers of treating patients and families in our practices and then worldwide consulting, how it is we made ourselves healthy, how we've made our pets, our children healthy and kept them healthy. What are the basic things we've done, removed from our environment, made sure we put into our environment. And what you guys don't know is most of the stuff to make yourself healthy again is free. And most of the stuff you have to do is actually free. And most of the stuff is stopping something, not having to do something else. Most of the recommendations are, you just need to stop doing this. And you need to stop doing this. How much easier can we make it? Just stop doing this. Stop doing this. And you'll watch your whole life transform. If you don't, If you don't come to Healing for the Ages, don't want to learn these principles of how to make yourself healthy again, I would like to ask you, are you waiting around for the government to make you healthy again? The Maha movement? You know, the Maha movement's being led by a real estate developer named Donald Trump and an attorney named RFK Jr., who have never sat at the bedside table of anybody and coached you back to health. So I'd like to ask you, do you really think the government and our government leaders know how to make someone healthy again? It isn't their lane. It isn't their clinical experience. But there are people who have spent their entire adult lives, I am one of them, studying how God designed the human body, or just its systems inherently, how it is designed to literally detox the body, protect itself, and heal itself from almost every condition you can think of. I mean, every condition. In fact, if I were you, I'm just going to say it right now, my children, my wife, and anybody in my family, grandkids included, which I do have some, I would never, ever, ever, ever think that my kids need to go see a medical doctor for a prescription. Never. It doesn't matter what the symptom is, what the narrative is. The only time that would happen is if there was a break or an injury or a trauma that I would need the emergency room specialist and their incredible life-saving devices and technology and surgery procedures. That is where medicine excels. That is where you go. That's the only time I go. There's a break. I want to know how severe it is. Let's go do an x-ray at the ER. Let's go see if we need to cast a splint, surgery, whatever. The world's always historically had surgeons. This is not new. We all at some point may need surgery. I'm not talking elected surgeries. I'm talking emergency surgeries. If you're in a car wreck and your arm is cut off in the car wreck when you went through the windshield, you're not going to a chiropractor. You're not waiting for that appointment. You're not looking for a supplement at GNC to help you. No, we're not that dumb. We're not ridiculous. We have common sense. I would call 911 and I would get somebody to try to reattach that thing who has learned in surgical school how to do that. Because at times we do need them. Only for emergency care would I ever need that. Outside of that, I've never needed them. And you don't either. You just don't know that. You believe every symptom is a crisis and some evidence of something worse. And it isn't. It's just normal. The body has these auto-corrective, auto-healing mechanisms, and you might feel them when they're happening. I'll give you an example. Have you ever swallowed something you thought was good for you at a restaurant, or you cooked it, and then an hour or so later, you're like, I'm feeling really sick. Have you ever had food poisoning symptoms? Can you explain to me what some of those symptoms were for the audiences who may not have ever had food poisoning? What were some of your symptoms?
Sweats, stomach aches, throwing up, diarrhea.
Yeah, that's a good summary right there. Okay, so chills, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, sweats. Okay, these are symptoms her body went through when she and her immune system, she didn't know she ate something poisonous, but her immune system figured it out in a hurry. And within an hour or two of eating, it was like, oh, we've got to get this out of us. I have to get this poison out of her. And the immune system did it all by herself. She didn't think about it cognitively. She didn't go, please, stomach and intestines and immune system, evaluate what I just ate. Is any of it poisonous? Should I vomit now? Should I diarrhea? No, she's just going about her day and her immune system's doing all the auto checks all by itself. And when it saw there was something rancid or would be detrimental to her vital organs, if it got into the bloodstream from the intestines where she swallowed it, her body went like this. Oh, no. Do everything as it is designed to kick a poison out of this organism. And what are those methods? Sweat it out, pee it out, poop it out, throw it up. So I would like to ask you, would it have been better if you didn't have any of those terrible symptoms of nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea? Would it have been better if the poison just went into your body and your body didn't recognize it? Was it worth your body going through those symptoms, telling you something is wrong here, and get ready, get to the bathroom, it's coming up? Was it better that your body did that? Yeah. Your symptoms aren't always negative. It actually was protecting her, and her body designed her that way. Or evolutionists listening, Mother Nature programmed her body to look for poisons, pathogens, parasites, bacteria, viruses, fungi in food. And if we detect it, hurry up and get it out.
Mm.
Could you imagine? Now, let me just ask you the scenario. Every symptom, by the way, you've ever had in your whole life, anybody watching this, every symptom you've ever had is your body telling you something is wrong in here and it needs to come out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's not that you're Tylenol deficient, Motrin deficient. No, something's wrong with you and you need to get it out. And the body's having a hard time figuring out how to get it out.
Yeah.
But it's trying. And instead, the majority of y'all are put on steroid drugs, which do what to the immune system? The immune system is what's creating the symptoms, trying to get the problem out of you, bringing your attention and awareness to there's a problem in here. And yet you go to your medical doctors with pain all over your body, symptoms all over your body, and the majority of you are put on steroids. And I repeat, and I quote, prednisones are in a class of medications called immune system suppressants. They turn off your immune system. So I'd like to ask you in this scenario of food poisoning with you, young lady, the moment you started getting nausea, vomiting symptoms, diarrhea, in that food poisoning scenario, do you think it would have been better for you if you didn't experience the diarrhea and instead we'd made that poop your body was trying to get out to keep it inside, and I put a cork in your anus and said, nope, we're not having diarrhea. No one likes that symptom. We're just going to keep that crap in. Or I taped your mouth shut and said, no, we're not going to let you vomit it up. Just keep it in there. It's good for you. No, but that's exactly what you all do with a fever with Tylenol and Motrin. You're like, we know there's a problem in there, but let's just turn off the immune system so they can't perceive it. And then they're going to be sicker longer. Every infection can be cleared in 24 to 48 hours if you didn't give them Tylenol, if you didn't give them Motrin, if you didn't give them steroids to suppress their immune system. That's why it takes you 7 to 14 days on an antibiotic to get over anything. Even when they don't know what it is, they're like, oh, just take these drugs that are going to turn off your immune system. You're still going to feel like crap, but not as bad.
Can't believe this. I can't believe that your brain doesn't get damaged until 108. I can't believe that.
I challenge you all to go look that up because all of you are like, oh no, I freaked out when it was 101. My medical doctor freaked out at 102. Well, you should tell them to go back to damn school and read their medical textbooks. Wow. Neurological damage to the brain, which is why they all tell you to freak out anyway. If you got a fever, it's bad. It could damage your kid's nervous system and brain, make them have seizures forever. I'm not kidding. This is what they tell you. So hurry up and get them on Tylenol, Motrin, and get them to the ER, whatever. No, there is no emergency whatsoever. And I've had kids reach 105, 106, and I didn't care. You know what I kept doing? When they reached 106, you guys don't know this. Do you know the only reason why a person has febrile seizures or their fever goes above 108? This has already been proven in medical research studies for decades.
What? That
only happens in a human if their brain doesn't have enough magnesium in its bloodstream.
Wow.
Magnesium is the mineral found in beef, found in all your vegetables and fruits. Magnesium is what regulates core body temperature at the hypothalamus of your brain. And the hypothalamus needs adequate amount of magnesium to make sure your body never gets too hot or too cold. That's its job. That's what it does. And it needs magnesium. So when my kids would get to 104, 105, I was sitting there throwing more capsules of magnesium at them to swallow. And then eventually, when I hit a certain dose, 500 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams, 1,500, which is 3 capsules, by the time I'd hit that, the fever would spike and come back down immediately. But I never had to take them anywhere. I didn't have to do ice bath, worry about a febrile seizure. I already know how God designed this body or how Mother Nature designed this body. It needs nutrients found in the soil that's drawn up into our plants, and our body requires it to function normally.
My God. The freaking programming is insane. That's new. Like that's something, and I study like a lot of this stuff, but that is wow.
Oh, watch this. You ready? Here's another one. You ready? All right. So anybody out there ever had a heart attack? I'm going to tell you, you're going to be told by your medical doctor, if you've had a heart attack or you have arrhythmias of your heart, you need beta blockers, calcium channel blockers. I mean, notice this. Calcium is a mineral. They will put you on a calcium channel blocker, and I need you to stay there. Just remember, they have these drugs they're going to prescribe to you. Do you know that every muscle in the human body, when I smile, my cheek muscles contract. When I furrow my brow, these muscles contract. When my heart beats, that muscle contracts. The heart's a muscle, right? When I flex my biceps, that muscle contracts. A muscle that contracts is just shortening. Shortening is contraction. Elongation is relaxation, coming out of contraction. So the heart goes like this: contract, relax, contract, relax. Every muscle in the human body, do you know what mineral tells the muscle to contract? Involuntarily. You don't have to tell it to. It'll just do it automatically. I can put enough of this mineral in a muscle and it'll make it go like this, and it'll just sit there and it won't come out of contraction. A spasm is what will happen. Do you know what mineral initiates any muscle contraction? Calcium. So if someone has excessive heartbeats, too intense, too often, guess what they put you on? A calcium channel blocker. So your muscles of your heart can't absorb calcium. Do you know what's dumb about that? You know what's dumb? And I wish any medical doctor and cardiologist would have just went and read any paragraph on how muscles work. You are a muscle doctor. You just work with one muscle called the heart, but all muscles behave the same. Calcium is what allows and tells a muscle to start contracting and shortening. So every heartbeat, when it contracts your heart, that's calcium that tells that to do it. If your medical doctor thinks it's contracting too hard or too often and not relaxing enough, they put you on a calcium channel blocker. This is why that's dumb. Do you know there's only one mineral in the whole world, a mineral like calcium, that takes a contracted muscle and initiates the out of contraction phase called relaxation? So one mineral, calcium, starts it to contract. Only one mineral causes it to relax out of contraction. Do you know what that is?
Magnesium?
Magnesium. Very good. All right. So instead of putting something in to block calcium, you should be being told to be on a magnesium supplement. They have enough calcium. They don't have enough magnesium. And everybody out there, listen to me. Have you ever been in bed, any of you, laying there, and then all of a sudden your calf cramps, your ankle cramps, your foot cramps, your thigh cramps, you're hobbling out of bed screaming and yelling because you got this involuntary, you didn't think about it to make it happen. The muscle just by itself contracted out of nowhere. Guess what's too much in your body?
Calcium?
Calcium. Guess why there's too much calcium in your muscle? I'm going to ask you this. The muscle is contracting, making you wake up in the middle of the night with restless leg syndrome and leg cramps, Charlie horses. I would like to ask all of you at home, what part of the human body is where calcium should be the most? Is it in your muscles or in your bone?
Bone.
It's in your bone. Why is there more calcium in your muscle and bloodstream than there is in your bone to make your muscles involuntary contract? Guess what one mineral takes calcium out of your muscle and out of your blood and puts it back into bone? So you're not going osteopenic, osteoporotic, bone density loss. Guess what the one mineral is that relaxes muscle out of contraction and puts calcium in bone where it belongs?
Magnesium.
Magnesium. Every muscle contracts because of calcium, either voluntarily or involuntarily. And I can make a muscle relax if I just put enough magnesium in there. So if you're anxious, you're all uptight, guess what I know you're deficient in?
Magnesium.
Magnesium. Guess what I know you have excess of? Calcium. If you want to learn more about calcium, every human being in America has too much calcium in their body, period, and not enough magnesium. And a great cardiologist of 40 years, if you think you know more than a cardiologist, then don't read his book. This guy's been a cardiologist, MD, for 40 years. His name is Thomas E. Levy. He wrote a book all about how heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, blood clots, all of it, hardening of your arteries are all caused by excess calcium. And he wrote a book called Death by Calcium. Nobody, you will never see a calcium supplement on my website. I will never sell calcium to anybody. We all get too much of it already in our food. Look at all the heart disease. Look at all the restless leg syndrome around the world. Look at all the constipation. Your anal sphincter is contracted. Guess what you have too much of because it won't relax to empty every day? You don't have enough magnesium.
Wow.
You are magnesium deficient. What happens to anybody that doesn't have enough magnesium to have normal bowel movements every day? Well, what's the number one cause for colon cancer? Every cancer doctor will tell you the number one cause for colon cancer is constipation, not pooping every day. Guess what makes you not poop every day? Excess calcium and not enough magnesium. It's that simple. When I say it's simple, it's simple. Everybody should go to healingfortheages.com and come join us at our conference. These are the kind of narratives we're going to be breaking down for you and helping to remind you, educate you of principles that are so simple and easy. You just didn't know it because the majority of things you've been presented with in your entire life via commercials, radio, television, your medical doctors, your loved ones, your aunts, your uncles, who are all going to their medical doctors all day long, they are only repeating the lies they've been told. This is called propaganda. And Joseph Goebbels said this. He was the father of propaganda for the Nazi Third Reich regime under Hitler. His famous quote is this: if you tell a big lie and keep repeating that lie, eventually everyone will come to believe it. You have had repeated to you that nicotine is addictive, so you believe it. That's the only reason why you believe it. In fact, it is the only reason you believe it. Vaccines are safe and effective. That is a repeated big lie every day of your life. This is why you believe it. Fevers are bad because it's kept being repeated to you. There is no evidence whatsoever that any temperature of a person between 98.6 and 108 is dangerous. So where did they get this notion? You were also told a great lie too. Did you know they tell you salt's bad for you and increases your risk for heart disease and stroke?
Yep.
Do you know that heart attacks, if you had a heart attack right now, young lady, while on this screen with me, if you fell over and had a heart attack right now and I called 911 and EMT showed up, you know what the first thing is they would inject inside of your vein before they put you in the ambulance?
Salt.
For a heart attack, they would inject salt water at 9,000 milligrams called saline, IV fluid. Every heart attack victim is first given salt at 9,000 milligrams. And I would like to ask you at home, do you know how much salt the American Heart Association says any human should ever have in a 24-hour period? And if you have more than this number, you will get heart attacks and strokes. It's 1,100 milligrams. Do you know how much is in a salt water bag at every hospital and ambulance ever? 9,000 milligrams of salt. That's 9 times what the American Heart Association tells you. If you have high blood pressure, 200 over 100 and something, which they call stroke level, do you know what the hospitals are told to do with people with extremely high blood pressure? They're told to give 2 bags of salt water. That is 18,000 milligrams of salt. And they're told to do it in a push, meaning you take the lever out that allows it to go in as fast as possible. And everyone's blood pressure goes back down to normal within that 30 minutes. You've all been lied to that salt is bad for you and increases your risk of heart attacks and strokes because they know the less salt you consume every day of your life, you will feel horrible. And when you feel horrible for any reason, you're going to go back to the hospital or call 911. And the first thing they're going to give you is what's on the periodic table of elements that all human beings need. It's on the first column of the periodic table of elements: sodium, salt. They've just told you not to take the life-saving salt so that they can give it to you in an IV form when you get to the hospital at doses you're never recommended by the American Heart Association.
Oh my.
And what's even crazier, the FDA doesn't recommend 1,100 milligrams. Their recommendation for every American is 2,200 milligrams. That's the upper limit in 24 hours. Well, the hospital and every ambulance is giving you 9 times the amount the American Heart Association says you'd have. And the FDA, it's 4.5 times more than what they tell you in a 24-hour period. But if you have stroke level high blood pressure, which they say consuming salt increases your risk for high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, their number one go-to is 18 times the amount of American Heart Association's recommendations for salt and 9 times the recommendation of the FDA. 18,000 milligrams of salt. Can I explain something else to all of you? If you're wondering why would the hospitals do this and why would the medical profession lie to us, I'll tell you. A journalist for the New York Times in 2016 did an investigative journalist report. The FDA of the United States of America signs the contract for imported only. We only import saltwater bags for all hospitals in America and ambulances. You know, it's amazing. He discovered that our Morton salt mines in America is where we mine the salt. Then we put it on container ships and send it to Europe, where they mix it in distilled water and then sell it back to us. The FDA every year signs a contract with those importing companies of exactly the highest price any hospital will pay for those saltwater bags coming in to the hospitals, in all hospitals in America. The FDA writes those negotiated contracts. Right now, they're negotiating a deal. This is what every hospital's been paying for 20 years now. $2 and something cents per bag of salt water in every hospital and ambulance. This New York Times journalist decided that he was going to go to multiple New York City hospitals and get their medical insurance billing records for all of their patients. And they wanted to know, how much are hospitals billing insurance companies for this $2 worth of salt water they bought from an imported company per the FDA's contract for salt water? Every child given 9,000 milligrams of salt that the hospital paid $2 for is getting paid an average $383 by the insurance companies for every single $2 saltwater bag.
Freaking scam.
Every adult that is given a bag of salt water that cost every hospital in America $2 to purchase, they charge and receive in payment an average of $790 a bag.
What?
So when the pharmaceutical companies tell all the food companies to tell you this is a heart-healthy food because it's low in sodium, and they keep telling you to reduce your salt intake, that is because they have a racketing scheme to massively profit at 1,000-degree margins, giving you the one thing they've all convinced you and lied to you about you don't need, but they absolutely give to 100% of all of you when you are sick. Just think about this. Every time anybody speaks on behalf of health in the medical profession and salt, they will tell you to reduce your salt intake.
Yeah.
Limit your salt intake.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, everybody at home, and just think about it. Every hospital hallway you've ever walked down and looked into each room, just because we're rubberneckers like in car wrecks, we want to see what's going on in that room, what's going on in that room. Every person in a hospital bed you've ever looked at, all in unison, 100% of them, every ambulance, every hospital room, of the millions of hospital rooms with people in them right now around the world, they all have one thing and one thing in common. All of them is being pumped into their veins, sitting on a stand next to them, 100% of them. And that is 8,000 milligrams of salt. 9,000 milligrams of salt every single day that they're in there, the whole time they're in there. The same industry that tells you to limit your salt intake for 100% of any reason you've gone to a hospital, even if you're going into labor, even if you've got a fever, a heat stroke, food poisoning, a headache, it doesn't matter, a heart attack, high blood pressure, 100% of you will be given salt water. 9,000 milligrams every day you're in there. The same industry that tells you it's bad for you.
So we're all really deficient in salt. All of us.
All of you are deficient in salt. In fact, a study was done in 2016 that the American Heart Association, when they saw the Lancet in Britain published it, they actually threatened a lawsuit against the Lancet if they allowed that study to stay published on their website. And this was the study. Would you like to hear the results? Why the American Heart Association was pissed at a medical journal, the largest in the world for publishing a peer-reviewed, scientifically sound study. It was a study done over 20 years in 49 countries, and they followed 500,000 people. And they had them record how much salt they were eating in their diet randomly. Just record it for us, and then make sure we know your heart statistics every year or your health diagnostics. Get checked by a medical doctor. Share with us your health reports every year. What they found at the end of 20 years was those individuals in 49 countries, 500,000 people followed. Those who ate the least amount of salt every day in their diet had the highest amounts of heart attacks, strokes, and deaths compared to those who had the highest amounts of salt. And the range was this, for those of you that are wondering. It went from 1,000 milligrams a day, which is what the American Heart Association says you should only have. And it went from 1,000 milligrams upwards of 9,000 milligrams a day. And these research studies confirmed and published, and all the data was sound, that individuals who ate every day between 6,000 and 9,000 milligrams of salt had the most normal blood pressure, least heart disease diagnosis, and no strokes. And when they published those findings, the American Heart Association threatened the Lancet and said, we will pull all of our funding from you if you don't retract that study. Now, you have to understand this. This is weird. The American Heart Association was established in 1929, and their core mission statement was this: we are going to be receiving donations to fund research to eradicate heart disease from America.
Mhm.
Why, if a 20-year study publishes that if you just got people to eat more salt, there was a lower risk for heart disease, why would that be a threat, young lady, to American Heart Association? I
Mhm.
thought that was their mission statement. Why didn't they get excited about this?
Mhm.
Why would
Opposite.
the American Heart Association not be okay with this study?
No more donations. Terrible.
Where did the donations go to the American Heart Association? The pharmaceutical industry.
Ugh.
Drug companies that sell drugs for heart disease, including high blood pressure, stroke, and heart attack drugs, beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, you name it. Those drug companies who sell heart drugs receive profits from the sales of their drugs, and they donate a huge percentage to the American Heart Association every year to do their job. And the people that sit on the board of the American Heart Association, you should look at the CEO or the chairman of that board. It's a nonprofit. You should ask yourself why he's paying himself over $1 million in these donations a year for a nonprofit. Go look. You need to follow the money. The American Heart Association was told by its funders, you want to keep being on this board? You want to keep receiving your salary for this nonprofit? You better tell the Lancet to take that damn study down. Well, I'd like to applaud the Lancet. They did not take it down. In fact, they kept it up, and then they put at the top of the study the American Heart Association warning. We have been threatened by the American Heart Association, told to retract this study. So we're putting it on here that they told us to do it, but we're going to leave it. So you can go study that. It was done in Tel Aviv, Israel. It's an incredible study. And anyway, the more salt you eat, the better you'll be. In fact, you are a mammal. I'm a mammal. All mammals have the same organs and the same cellular structure and the same genes. Every mammal that we eat and are raised on a farm or used for entertainment that are mammals on a farm or a ranch, all mammals have the same organs. All mammals have the same cells, all of them. Do you know what everybody who raises animals for human consumption or entertainment, think about horses and horse breeding for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that all ranchers and farmers are told to put in the fields of the pastures of their mammals to make sure they always have adequate amounts of? All 100% of them have salt blocks, salt licks in the field for them all to lick and consume as much salt as they can so those animals don't develop heart disease and cancer and become diseased so they can't sell them to you as food. Your farmers and veterinarians know how mammals' bodies work. Your medical doctors do not. In fact, it's really funny. Next time you're in a room with a loved one in a hospital, I want you to look at them and go like this. When the medical doctor walks in the room, I want you to go, no matter what your loved one's in there for, I want you to look at them and go like this. Hey, doc, I just have a random question. Is it true that salt's bad for you? Just say it. And you know what every medical doctor is going to say? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You should always restrict or reduce your intake of salt. And then I want you to look at them and go like this. Well, if salt's so bad for you, why are you keep pumping 9,000 milligrams of salt in my loved one standing right behind you every day he's been in here? And watch your medical doctor freak out. You're going to realize he is a walking around zombie brainwash, just repeating crap he learned in high school. I'm sorry, not in high school, in med school. And when you shatter these illusions, you should watch their mind in their eyes, watch them react. They're going to be like, well,
Cognitive.
why do we do, sir, doctor, I appreciate you and all you do, but I've been told to tell my dad to not take salt in his diet every day to prevent heart disease. And he had a heart attack and you've had him on 9,000 milligrams of salt since he got in here. Doesn't that seem counterintuitive and dangerous? And watch them all by themselves be deprogrammed and trying to figure out how to make sense of this illusion that they are living inside of and just vomiting out dumb stuff. And it's really funny. Do it to them. I do it all the time. And they're always like, what? Crap, I forgot. And you know, it's amazing. They actually tell people in hospitals. I've heard nurses telling me this when I challenge them this way. They'll always go, I know it doesn't make sense. You have a hypertensive patient, stroke level, and they tell us to do 2 bags of salt water. And we don't learn that in nursing school. We think that's bad for it, but they don't tell us. This is what the nurses tell me in hospitals. But we aren't told once we get to the hospital, never again do you hear it referenced that is salt water or saline. They only refer to it everywhere in the hospital, in staff meetings, in the break room. They only call it fluids. That is how they deceive them.
But,
I don't care if you call it tobacco wrapped in a paper. I don't care if you call it that or a cigarette. It's still a cigarette. I don't care if it's ketchup. It's still smashed tomatoes. And it doesn't matter what you call that bag hanging from every IV stand being pumped into every vein of every human in the world who's being treated by a medical professional. They all are pumping you full of salt. It is a part of every protocol, every condition ever known to man. And you should all start asking your medical doctors, why the hell are you pumping 9,000 milligrams of salt into everybody that comes in here? To start getting them to understand they've been brainwashed and they're just following orders. They're like robots and zombies. It's very apparent when you're awake. When you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's really exciting to watch these people finally see it.
It's exciting. Oh my God. Yes. Wow. You know what? It really is just at the end of the day, once you start to see, it's common sense. Like, we are bioelectric beings, right? Salt has minerals. We need minerals. It's just conductivity of our electricity inside of our, it's really common sense when you can open your eyes, but it's so sad that so many of us have been conditioned just deeply. That all of this stuff is so good for you and so safe. Just terrible.
Oh, do you know how many athletes around the world are dying from heat strokes during football and basketball practice? In 2018, it was 1 in every 3 days in America. A teenager was dying during football practice or basketball practice from a heat stroke.
What?
Their body got too hot. I just educated you here.
Uh-huh.
The number one cause for that is magnesium deficiency. Do you know what I find disgusting? Every high school, middle school, college in America, pro team is being bribed to give all their athletes Gatorade. You know what Gatorade has in it? It has calcium and no magnesium.
Ugh.
So as you introduce more calcium without putting in the necessary magnesium to keep you from overheating, guess what happens to these kids? And magnesium, for example, is the 4th most lost mineral in every drop of sweat. And this is why they're dropping dead from heart attacks and heat strokes, is because of a magnesium deficiency. And what they're being sponsored to tell their kids to consume is deficient of any of it.
Terrible.
And that's intentional, by the way.
Evil.
Evil.
It's evil. Oh my God. Too many truth bombs. I just.
Well, let's see if we can get some viral clips out of this interview. How about that?
Well,
we'll see.
One after the other. Doctor, thank you so much for shedding light on all of these subjects. Your messages need to get just screamed to the entire world. People got to wake up and realize what's being done, because loved ones, kids are getting sick and dying because of this manipulation. And so thank you for what you do. And I really honor you. So thank you. And thank you for being on my show. And yes, we're going to cut this into like 200 clips.
I hope we gave you enough to just go viral. Let's go. Bring it on.
Okay.
Everybody needs the truth.
They do. Well, thank you, Dr. Ardis, for spending this time with me. I appreciate you and your work so much. I'll have all of your links to your show, your book, and the conference in the description. So thank you.
Thank you for providing a place where people can tune into to receive some words that might have powerful influences in their life.
Yes.
There's a phrase that truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the world of health, actually, truth will set you free of even your symptoms and disease if you just knew the truth.
Boom. Mic drop. Thank you.
All right, God bless
you.
Is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead. Love unlimited, feel unlimited.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. There is so much more ahead. Courses, mentoring, healing circles, retreats, safe spaces to heal and grow. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and stay connected. We are not alone. In this journey, we're on it together.